Hello, hello, and welcome back to day 2 of our Mental Stamina Summit, Physical Health Edition. Hope people are still coming in here. So let's jump into just a little bit of review from yesterday. So yesterday we talked about awareness is key. So becoming aware of what are our thoughts, what are we thinking, how is that creating feelings? Within us, why do our feelings matter? Because, well, we take actions based off of our emotions. So if we don't like the outcomes we're seeing, then we need to readjust our actions or readjust our thoughts and emotions. And then we went into, what else did we go into yesterday? Byproduct of thought. That was the first thing. And then awareness is key. So yeah, talked about some of those things. And so if you weren't able to watch that, there is a recording that's available for day 1. You can go back and watch. Today, I'm going to jump in pretty quickly today because we have so much to cover, and I'm really excited to lead you guys in a meditation and to help you reset your nervous system through the vagus nerve. And so many good things. So let's just jump on in. Alignment and persistence. We're going to be on page 9 in our workbook. And we are, all of these things are great that we talked about yesterday. But if we do not implement them and be persistent in what we're doing and get in alignment with what really is in our heart of hearts, not in alignment with what we think society will accept or with what our parents hoped would be for us or whatever, but within our true heart of hearts, to get in alignment with that and in alignment with our source of power within us. That is where we can then move forward. That is effective. So on page 9, Neville Goddard. I absolutely love learning from Neville Goddard. I don't believe everything that Neville Goddard suggests, but he has been very instrumental and very helpful in me understanding the conscious and subconscious mind, and understanding energetics and how some of these things come together. So he says, you win by assumption what you can never win by force. I think that is very, very powerful because we talked a little bit yesterday about masculine and feminine energies and how we operate often in the masculine, the do, the going, the making it happen, the hustle, the grind, all of this stuff. And yes, some of that is beneficial. Some of that is necessary. And we also have a feminine energy about us that I think gets ignored sometimes. That is, more of the thinking, the feeling, the creative, the dreaming, the loving, the emotions, all of that. So it takes both. And when we have this misbalance, then we're not at ease. And the opposite of being at ease is dis-ease. Literally just means unease. So on page 9, there's a question there. It says, do you notice assumptions you hold about people or circumstances? So really examine, what are your assumptions? Yesterday, we had a great example of, change is hard. That was an assumption that someone held. Change might have been hard in the past, or it might be hard for other people, or whatever the situation may be. But what if it wasn't? What if that's just what you assume to be true about change? Even other people, we might go into conversations with other people and assume that they're going to say this or they're going to think that or whatever. We're walking into this assumption about them. So do you notice kind of what assumptions do you hold? Do you assume what they will say or how a certain thing will go at a certain place, or, that your food order will be wrong? When we go to this restaurant, our food is never right, or this waiter does a terrible job, or whatever it is, and then usually that becomes your truth. So do you believe that you can change your assumptions and thoughts in an instant? This is one of the most powerful realizations that I've had yet. What if I could change my assumptions like that? What if I could change what I believe or my thoughts? Like, what if it really was easy to just choose a different one? How quickly could things change for me and in my life if I were able to make quicker decisions on changing my thoughts and my assumptions and my beliefs? Do you accept the responsibility to do so? We talked a little bit about that yesterday. We don't feel as though we can change something that we're not responsible for, that's out of our control. So when we take responsibility for something, then we empower ourselves to change it. That to which you constantly return constitutes your truest self. Neville Goddard also said that. So what do you constantly return to? What state are you constantly operating out of? Think of the life you imagined yesterday that was at a higher vibrational point of attraction. We had the thing, you put the dot on one side of where you kind of feel like you are and where you'd like to be. And for most people, those are not congruent. They don't match up. So when you think about that, what if you could reverse engineer and think of the wish fulfilled, not to the wish fulfilled? This is why clarity is so important. It brings us in alignment. So let's say you had a dot down here because this is where you're operating right now. This is what your reality is right now, but you desire this up here. So instead of trying to always get there, what if you reverse engineered and thought about, instead of getting to it, you thought from it? Who are you when you are doing this thing, or when you're at this place, or when you have this amount of money, or when your health is at this level, or whatever it is? Who are you? Once you've identified who this person is, you can reverse this and start being that person now. That person is just vibrating on a higher frequency than where you're at right now. And that's something that you can do now, whether you have the money or not. You can vibrate on a higher frequency. Whether your health is at the level you want it to be or not, you can vibrate on this higher frequency. Whether you're in the career path, or you have the marriage or the kids or the house or the car or whatever it is, you can go ahead and match that vibrationally right now without having it. And what happens is when we do that, not only are we moving towards it, but we're drawing it towards us. And this is how quantum leap happens. You collapse time. Super powerful stuff. So on page 10, it says, when you align to your desired outcomes and the person you are required to be to match that, then connect to your source of power. It's like plugging in the vacuum before vacuuming. So we talked about that a little bit yesterday too, that we have a source of power. We have a creator. Well, that's what I believe. I believe that we have a creator. We have a source of power. I call that God. I believe that I have access to that. I believe that that is within me and it is available to me at all times. And I am the only one that shuts that off. That it is always there. It's always present unless I separate myself from that by choice. So what if I connect to that source of power and I get in alignment with God and with, where I'm going? He says, a man, how does he say it? A man chooses his something, but God directs his steps. Man chooses his way or something, God directs his steps. So we have the ability to choose our path. God directs our steps through it, but what would you love? What would you identify as the direction you'd like to go, as the destination you'd like to end up at? Have you identified that clearly? Do you hold that on the screen of your mind? When you get in alignment with that and you can see who you are then, and you be that person now, and you connect in with a source of power greater than you, momentum starts happening. Synchronicities start happening. I just had an amazing call with a client who's very new to all of this work, and she's implementing it. She's doing the work. She's showing up and doing exactly what we're talking about. And this was our second call, and she was like, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this, and all of these things are just lining up right before her, and her doors are just being one door opened after another after another. She shifted her energy, and she is connecting on a deeper level to God within her. And her trust and faith is expanding like exponentially. And it is so cool to watch this unfold. So where is your source of power? How can you connect to that daily? Because the power is there, but are you connected to it? Like the electricity is in the wall, but are you plugged into it? So for me, that looks like getting in the word. That looks like prayer. That looks like meditation. That looks like I talk to God like he is my best friend. And I mean, I'm like, we have a conversation all day long. Like, it's not, I don't just like have this one prayer and then I'm done for the rest of the day. And I'm not saying this is what you need to do. I'm just telling you this is what I do. I am in constant conversation. God, will you help me do this? God, I would sure love for this to happen. God, will you please help this person? Would you? I mean, it's just all day long, constant conversation. The doorway is always open. And I love that. That works for me. Breath work. God breathed life into us. Your breath has power. We're going to do a little bit of breath work in our meditation here in a little bit. And I hope that you're able to experience the power that your breath holds. Getting still. You know, God says, be still and know that I am God. How do you know God deeper? You get still. And I think that as the world keeps moving faster and more hectic and do whatever the world's doing out there, I think the value of being still is going to go up. Sometimes we see that as not being productive, and it is one of the most productive things that you can do. I'm not saying sit on your couch and be still for the rest of your life and just know that he's God. Jesus, take the wheel. You know, but at the same time, when we give time and space for having those moments of stillness, to really connect in, to really get to know that he is God, to really sit outside in nature. I cannot deny for myself, I look out there and my reasoning, I cannot deny that someone greater than me put all this together to work perfectly like it does. So, and then, you know, letting go of things like the cork that is underneath the water. We talked about that. As we take off the weights, that cork is able to float back to the top. And when we're floating at the top, we feel in connection with God. All these frequencies and stuff, I picture God as the highest frequency. And that's where we came from. And I think that's where we're all trying to get back to. That's why when we're down here, it doesn't feel good. We don't like being down here. As we rise in frequency, we're getting closer and closer to the frequency of God. And so I think this work is definitely worth doing and allowing yourself to float up closer and closer to that frequency. You do not need to apply your will to things in order to compel them to come to you. You need only to use your willpower upon yourself. Wallace D. Wattles said that in his book, The Science of Getting Rich. So we don't have to try to make things happen outside of us. Yes, we identify where we would love to go. Yes, we have this idea. I'll use this example. Maybe a person who was hurt by relationships in the past decides, oh, I just don't want a boyfriend right now. I don't want to do the whole dating thing again. I'm done with that. Like, I'm just going to get myself good in a good place, and then I'll go try that out again. And then guess what? Usually, boom, all of a sudden, the perfect guy shows up. Because in the back of their mind, in their heart of hearts, they do want the relationship. They do want a spouse someday. You know, they do want all of those things. But in that moment that they released the need for it, they released the act of trying to make it happen, it showed up because the energy shifted. So we don't, when I use the word willpower, I'm not saying try to will something to make it happen. Even in business, yes, I show up. Yes, I run the reps. I do the things. But there comes a point, like, I can't make someone do anything. And the more I try to convince and push and do those things, like, that is not how I like doing life or business. I would rather attract, I would rather inspire and lead and take a whole different approach rather than push. There are moments, yes, there are moments that we need a little push of encouragement. Usually it's when we're right up to the finish line, when we're kind of scared to go across and we just need that little extra, boop, look, you did it, But for the most part, 99% of the race is led. It's inspired. It's the law of attraction coming into play. And I believe that everyone who's on here live today and those that are watching the replay, there's a reason that you're here. I don't believe in coincidence anymore. I just don't. I believe our paths cross for a reason. I believe that there is divine guidance and divine timing. And I absolutely love getting to be a part of it. And the more I open myself up to receive that, the more I open my mind up to see all these things coming together, man, it's a cool ride. It is so fascinating to me. And I feel so humbled and so grateful to get to be part of what God is doing. So willpower is not to be expressed outwardly, but it is a will on yourself, the willpower to remain who you choose to be in all circumstances. If you say, okay, I am patient. I choose, maybe you don't feel like a patient person. I choose to be patient today. And then the kids come home and they're running around, they're being maniacs, and you instantly lose your patience. You have the willpower to say, no, I choose patience even in this moment. If you say, I am abundant, I choose to feel abundant today. And you go and you look at the bank account and you're like, well, that does not look abundant. Like, oh, I'm not abundant. I'm not doing good enough. We don't have enough. Whatever the story that starts running through your head of the not enoughness, the lack, the limitations, all of that. No, that is not who you are. Where you are is not who you are. It is just simply a place in time right now. It does not have to define you. It does not have to be who you are. You are abundant. So you can look at the bank account and choose to feel not enough, or you can look outside and see the trees, abundance of air, an abundance of water, an abundance of grass, an abundance of food around us to eat, an abundance of light, an abundance of electricity. There's an abundance of people. There's so much abundance all around you. An abundance of information. You can figure out anything on your own. Basically, go YouTube it, There's an abundance of all kinds of things. So you get to choose what your perception is going to be and the meaning that you place on it. You can go find abundance. There is an abundance of money. It might not be sitting in your bank account right now, but there technically is an abundance of money. Are you going to believe that? And then would you believe that you're worthy of some of it? And just because you have some doesn't mean it's taking from other people. Like, money circulates. It doesn't sit still, it circulates. Would you be an open vessel to allow it to circulate through you? Are you okay with letting it go because you have a true, deep trust and faith that it's coming back? I learned through someone, I think it was through Bob Proctor. He said, when you pay your bills, do you sit there in the energy of, oh my gosh, electricity is so expensive. Oh, this is so ridiculous. Or do you sit there in the energy of, wow, I'm so grateful that I get to circulate money to the electrical company, and then they get to pay their employees who get to provide food for their families. And maybe they have a newborn baby at home and they're going to buy formula for this baby, and they're going to get health care maybe for something that they need, or like whatever the situation is. But the circulation of money, you could see it through past the initial investment in just electricity. You could be grateful that, wow, I'm so grateful I get to have electricity in my home, that I am able to pay for it right now. So what is your thought process on all of this? Because this affects your energy level. It affects your emotions. It affects where you are energetically, and you will attract whatever frequency you're on. You will attract more of those experiences. Okay, so willpower to remain at the energy that you choose and in the mindset that you choose. That's where I would use your willpower, is on your own self. What tangible things will you start putting into practice today to find alignment and stay in it? I mentioned a few above on like how I connect to my source of power. But what will is it meditation? Is it affirmations? Is it just listening to frequency music on YouTube? You can find different frequencies, turn it on and listen to it. You can use essential oils to change frequency. Get yourself around healthy people that are building you up. Listen to someone. If you can't get your own negative talk out of your head, start listening to someone else who can start pouring something positive into your mind. But what practices can you put in place to find alignment? Not only find it, but to stay in alignment. Remember the power of your choice. You can choose. I wrote this on I have a board that sits in my kitchen right beside the door as we walk out. And I wrote on there one day, what if I was just happy anyways? Regardless if my spouse is happy, regardless if my kids are cranky, regardless if there's enough money in the bank account, regardless of if I feel sick or healthy, regardless of what business is doing, regardless of what the world's doing, what if I just chose to be happy anyways? It was simply a choice. And it's a very powerful one. So how will you get in alignment? How will you stay in it? How will you stay vibrating at that higher frequency from a place of inspiration? What's going to work for you? And then will you have the willpower to do it? That would be my next question. Okay. So any questions on this so far? Nope. All good. Okay. If you guys have something, put it there in the chat box. All right. I'm going to finish that up because I would really like to move into the vagus nerve. This book, Accessing the Healing Power of the Vagus Nerve by Stanley Rosenberg. It is such a good book. So it says self-help exercises for anxiety, depression, trauma, and autism. There's a lot of good information in here. And I'm no expert on the nervous system and all of that, but I did kind of give myself a little refresher. Like I've taught this in our group sessions, and this is one of the sessions that we do inside of the program. It's the second session is resetting your nervous system, because I love having like a clean slate to work from. And these are things, even he says in here, like this is not a one and done thing. Like balancing is an ongoing process because we constantly are getting thrown out of balance by life and things outside of us. So it is our duty, it's our responsibility to bring ourselves back into balance. And I'm going to teach you how you can do that. There's so many things. I think we've been trained to look outside of us for answers so that people can make money off of their craft that they do. And yes, there are many things that are helpful. Chiropractic care is helpful. Massage therapy is helpful. Manual therapy is helpful. Surgery can be helpful. You know, medication can be helpful. All of these modalities and things outside of us can be helpful. And at the same time, there's so much you can do right inside your home that can exponentially impact your health and your mood and your emotions and your mental stamina and stability, and your spiritual health and all of these things. So in this book, so the vagus nerve, it is it's involved in the involuntary sensory and motor skills. So this is like breathing, your heartbeat. So these things are happening, and yes, you can kind of control your breath, but it's happening without you thinking about it. You know, your digestion, things like that. So your autonomic nervous system is broken down into your sympathetic, which is the fight or flight, and your parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest. Many of us we are meant to be walking around in the parasympathetic, the rest and digest piece. But for most of us, we're spending most of our life in our parasympathetic, that fight or flight response. This is not how we were meant to live day in and day out. This was meant for short-term use of survival. And it's a great thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a great thing when it's used how it was designed to be used. So, I'm just going to read it to you. Let's see here. Page 88. Says so your vagus nerve is also one of your cranial nerves. So it goes from your brain down to your large intestine. It's the largest nerve, cranial nerve that you have. And then you have your spinal nerves also. So this one is impacted from the brain down. And it says, prior to the polyvagal theory, we did not have an adequate physiological model to understand the nature of these common problems. The new understanding of the autonomic nervous system set forth in this theory provides us with physiological model. Hang on. Chronic dorsal vagal activity is also a factor in depressive behavior, social isolation, feelings of helplessness and hopelessness, apathy, lack of empathy, sadness, and grief, as well as some cases of post-traumatic stress and many cases of anxiety. Improving the function of the ventral branch of the vagus nerve opens new possibilities for healing a myriad of health problems arising from chronic sympathetic system activation or dorsal vagal dysfunction. I think that is absolutely fascinating to see that this connection could have such an impact on mental health. And physical health, obviously, but I did not personally like see that connection. I mean, I think I knew it, but I didn't pay attention to it, I guess. So anyhow, your nervous system, it is quick to get turned on. It is very slow to get calmed back down. So we very quickly can go into fight or flight. It takes time to bring us back down out of that into the rest and digest phase where we're meant to operate. So if we have multiple experiences throughout the day, we're late for school, we're doing this, we get upset about this, we have this perception. So much of it is our perception of stress. If we could shift our perception that this is not stressful, this is a minor inconvenience. I've heard it said there's a difference between problems and inconveniences. Most of us are not actually experiencing problems. Most of us are just experiencing inconveniences. So I think reframing our idea of what a stressful event actually is versus actually being in a stressful event, I think that'd be very, very beneficial. And I love helping people to do this. But so it doesn't require a trauma to affect the C1 and C2 movement. So when this happens, okay, I'm going to read this to you also. He explains it so well. The rotation of C1 and C2, so this is your top two vertebrae up here in your neck, has evolutionary survival value. It puts pressure on the ventral artery, reducing blood flow to the brainstem. So we talked about this yesterday. When you're in a state of fight or flight, you don't have normal blood flow to your brain because it's trying to help you just survive. This affects the function of the 5 nerves necessary for social engagement. This takes you out of wanting to be social. This puts us into a non-ventral vagal state, which in cases of danger can help our survival by shutting off the higher functions when we have to fight or flee, or when we cannot face the present situation physically or emotionally. This is when we check out. We can just check right out because we can't handle what's happening in front of us. And there are times for this. And there are times when this is a perceived threat. I can be talking to someone in a session and we walk right up to maybe a past event or even them feeling worthy of something. They've never been there before. They've never felt love for themselves before. And that feels scary. It feels unknown to them and they will check out. I'll say, who are you? Describe to me what you are like and who the person you would be if this and this and this happened. And they freeze. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what would happen if something good happened to me. They are so far removed from the goodness that is out there for them that it feels scary. And that, I don't want to say it breaks my heart. I have so much empathy for that. I was there too. What do you really want, Lauren? I don't know. I'll just check out. I don't know. I'm too scared. I'm too scared to say what I would want. What if it doesn't happen? I'm too scared to love. What if I get hurt? I'm too scared to have hope that I could do something that I don't know how to do, because what if I fail? We'll go into an instant fight or flight, and this response will happen. We physiologically will not be able to think. We go unconscious. We check out. It's fascinating. Okay, so if our neuroception, and this can happen, like I said, this can happen from either an actual thing happening or a perceived thought, a perception of it, or a memory. This can happen by memory. So let's see. He says it does not require a trauma to affect C1 and C2. The memory of a past event can do the same. And I also think the imagination of something in the future can also do the same. Because like we talked about yesterday, a memory is just using your imagination to replay the scene. What if you create a new scene and you start to use your imagination to play something new? Sometimes we do this in a positive way. Sometimes we do this in a negative way. So then we live in a state of fear of things that have not even happened. And 99% of them will not ever happen. We're putting ourselves in this place that we're not living life to the fullest because we're scared all the time because of what's going on right up here. It's not even what's happening out there. It's crazy. We're torturing ourselves. Someone said, I would rather be daydreaming than nightmaring. I'm like, man, me too. Let's daydream more. So, okay, there is a connection between. Okay, so in this exercise I'm about to teach you, the weight of your head on your fingers, the pressure of that is enough to stimulate the occipital nerve, causing the muscles to relax and to come into balance with each other. So your eyes and your occipital nerve muscle or nerve has a lot to do with the muscles in your eyes and what's going on back here on your occipital. So this is just like your skull, and then right below where it connects to your neck. This is the area that we're talking about. So what we're going to do without getting any more sciencey, you're probably like scienced out. I think that's like the nurse in me coming out. I'm like, oh, this is how this works. But you got to prove things to me for me to even give you my time to try it. So I don't know if you're like me or not, but I hope that that was just enough to kind of lay the foundation as to why this matters, why it's important. And it's so easy to do. So, okay, first of all, you put your feet flat on the ground and sit straight up. Look to your right. And notice if you have any tension in your neck. Now look to your left. Notice if you have any tension in your neck. Look back to the right. Can you look further one direction than you can the other? Just become really aware of what your neck's feeling like and how much tension was on each side and kind of what it felt like when you turned your head. Because we're going to do the same thing here in a little bit, and I want you to see if it's any different. So what we're going to do, you interlace your fingers like this, and you use your thumbs, and you just rest your thumbs right on the back of that occipital region, right where your skull basically connects to your neck. So interlace your hands. I'm going to teach you sitting up. It's best to do it laying down. So yes, very good. Put your thumbs right back there. And it's not a hard pressure. Like it's just kind of a light pressure. The reason for doing this is A, your thumbs are putting pressure on that occipital region. And B, holding your head still, because you don't want your head to move during this exercise. You want it to be still. But you also are not wanting to engage your muscles. So relaxing and letting it just rest and using your hands to hold your head in place. So what you do is you just lay flat on the floor and you close your eyes and you move your eyes to the right while you keep them closed, and you keep your head still. Your head might want to go to the right too, but really try to just keep it still. And then you just look to the right for about 30 to 60 seconds. So we'll just hold this together. Sometimes you might notice that like you swallow differently, or you need to take an extra breath. Or you need to like lick your lips. You move your feet around. The first couple times I did this, just keep holding your eyes to the right. The first couple times I did this, my whole body was wiggling. I could not sit still. My feet kept moving around. I had all kinds of just things getting realigned. So if that happens to you, just let your body move through it and tell yourself you're safe. I am safe. I can do this. Keep breathing through it. A lot of times we store trauma in our vagus nerve. And as we do this, your body will have a response. And sometimes you'll want to move your eyes because you'll think you can't do it, but you can. Try to stay. Take some deep breaths. And now don't open your eyes, but bring them back to the center. And then look to the left with your eyes while keeping your eyes closed. Take some deep breaths. Repeat the phrase, I am safe. I am safe being here. Notice if you have a swallow or you take that extra breath. When those things happen, you know that you've then reached your vagus nerve, like it's being stimulated when you have those responses, the swallow, the breath. If you start wiggling around, take another deep breath. I am safe. Okay. Now you can open your eyes. Whew, how are we feeling any different yet? Did you notice any changes, or did you swallow or have the deep breath or anything like that? You might not have sitting up. It's a little bit different sitting up than laying down. But go ahead and look to the right again. And look to the left. Can you turn your head any further than you could the first time? Do you notice if there's any less tension in your neck? I noticed quite a bit of difference when I first did this. And I've had a client who noticed a very, very big difference. She struggled with neck issues and ear issues and some jaw issues and things. And she said this was one of the most helpful things that she's been able to implement on her own at home to help herself through some things. So anyhow, I love doing that. Okay, so that is one very simple way. It literally takes 2 minutes max to lay down and to reset your vagus nerve. And you can do that as many times as you need to. You know, if you need to look to the right again for 30, 60 more seconds and then back to the left again and do it 2 or 3 times, do it and see kind of what happens. So I'd be curious if you guys do this again laying down to know if there was any changes or any differences. Okay. Now let's move into, I'm going to lead us through a meditation. So meditation is one of the best ways, I'm not say the best, but it is a very powerful way to reset your nervous system, to calm anxiety, to reground you, to recenter you, and to get your brain operating in a different way, to basically regain control of your mind. Sometimes we feel frazzled, like we're just running and we're spinning our wheels. We're just going. We're not in control. Nothing's in control. Everything's out of control. It's wild. We're stressed. We're busy, and like all of this stuff. And that is not effective. I have been slow since the day I was born. I was born 8 days late. And I have been a noticer. I don't like being pushed. I don't like being rushed. I have always been slow. I eat slow. I used to take an hour-long shower before I had kids. I am just slow. And I used to think that that was a bad thing. I used to think like I hold everybody up back, whatever, I've come to realize I think it might be one of my superpowers, the ability to slow down and be effective and be methodical and be intentional. And when I go at my pace, which might seem slower to other people, there are some things I've gotten pretty fast at a few things, but when I go at my pace, I am very effective. I am in my zone. I'm in my genius. I'm in my flow, and it works. It works for me. So what is your pace? Like, if the cadence of life doesn't feel good to you right now, could you trim some fat off? Are there some things you don't have to be doing? Are you overcommitted in some areas? Are you keeping up with the Joneses, as they say? Like, are there some things that don't have to be? Even with our kids, they're in dance and baseball right now, and they're doing some things. They're throwing in extra recitals right now, and they're wanting to do pitching lessons and batting lessons on top of practice twice a week. And, at some point, I've thought about doing a live on Facebook, but I haven't brought myself to it yet. And I don't know. I think my husband might run and hide under a rock if I were to do it, but I think it's coming someday. I'm also have a podcast on the back of my mind of like, that is one of my main goals. I have a couple other things to get situated, but I am starting a podcast at some point. So that way people that want to listen can come, and those that don't, that's fine. But at some point, like, I know we all have this innate desire to give our kids more than what we had. We want to give them a better life than what we had. At some point, I don't think more is better. I think intentional is better. I think we're living in a whole different era that we've got to start shifting our perspective around and protecting our peace, protecting our mental sanity, protecting our physical health. No one else is going to do that for us. Absolutely no one. It is you. And it's for sure you, mama and daddy. I think moms are like the emotional barometer of the home, though. They say if mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. We are the barometer. Everyone tunes to us. They came from us. It's their nature. They naturally, boom, they can tune right in with mom real quick. If I start getting cranky, the whole house starts getting cranky. I'm like, dadgummit, I did that, and now I gotta go fix it, So, okay, kids, mom messed up. I'm sorry. Okay, let's all let's start over. Let's have a redo. Let's have a good attitude about the laundry. I'll have a better attitude too, So anyhow, I just got off on a whole tangent, but slowing down, I think is valuable. Okay, so are there some things in your life that you can shave off? Do you have to do all the extra? No, and you have the ability to say no. Lisa TerKeurst has an amazing book called The Best Yes. And in that book, she basically talks about there's 3 answers. There's yes, there's no, and there's the best yes. So if we overcommit to all the little yeses, we don't save ourselves time for the best yeses in our life. And so anyhow, if you struggle with that, that'd be a great book to read. Okay, let's get into this meditation. And let's slow down. And I would love for you guys to notice how you feel in your body right now. And then I'm going to walk you through this. And, okay, I'm not going to explain anymore. I'm just going to do it. Let's go. I'm going to share my screen, share some music, because music has a frequency, and that is a powerful thing that is so easy to do, to just turn some music on and let it help you vibrationally be on a level that you desire to be on. Bear with me. I'm a little slow at I'm slow. I already warned you that I'm slow. Okay. Here we go. Can you guys hear that? Awesome. Okay. So what we're gonna do, take a deep breath. Experience the power of your breath during this walk. When you took that breath, was it all the way into your belly? Take another deep, long breath in through your nose. Breathe in. Fill up your belly, fill up your chest cavity. And exhale through your mouth. One more time, deep breath in through your nose. Fill up your belly, fill your chest cavity. Exhale through your mouth. One more big deep breath, really slow deep breath in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Continue in those deep breaths. And making sure that your feet are flat on the floor. You can rest your palms and your hands facing up, receiving them. Bring your shoulders back. Bring your head back a little bit. Make everything nice and straight. Breath in. Now picture a white of pure light swirling above the crown of your head. This white pure energy enters through the crown of your head and fills your mind, clearing any negativity from your mind, clearing any traumas, any ideas that you hold that do not serve you. This cleansing energy going all throughout your mind. You're getting so much clarity. This energy now moves down around your eyes, relaxing every muscle around your eyes. It moves into your jaw, relaxing all the muscles around your jaw. Releasing your tongue from the top of your mouth and resting it. Cheekbones, throughout your whole head and down into your neck. This cleansing energy is clearing out all your lymph nodes. It's moving all your lymphatic system, cleansing everything. This energy is relaxing every muscle in your neck, clearing out your voice box. You speak so clearly. You have clarity of mind and thought. You have clarity of speech. You articulate your words with grace. You have the courage to speak what is in your heart. This energy now moves down into your shoulders, relaxing every muscle on your shoulders and clearing off every burden that you may be carrying there. Taking those deep breaths in. Breathe into your belly. Fill up your chest cavity. Fill your chest all the way up to your shoulders with this pure light. Breathe it in. On your exhale, you are exhaling all negativity. Inhale again, breathing in only positive, pure light. Breathe into your belly, your chest, shoulders, neck, all the way up to your brain. It. Hold your breath. Hold it for 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1. Exhale. Now this pure light is swirling and continues swirling down into your arms. Relaxing every joint of your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. Relaxing every muscle, moving all that lymph around back to your heart. This pure, positive energy now circulates into your chest. It fills up your lungs, it fills up your heart, cleanses every organ, cleansing your lungs, purifying the blood, healing your heart. Any brokenness that's in your heart is now healed. another deep breath in. Really fill up your chest cavity. And exhale. Now this pure positive energy, this working white light coming into your abdominal cavity, cleansing all your organs, cleansing your digestive system, cleansing your gallbladder, your liver, your kidney, complete healing anything that is less than optimal. Now everything is optimized, it's functioning at its highest level. It's cleansed, every cell is cleansed. Take another deep breath in, fill your belly up with that positive light. Feeling everything in your abdomen, your chest, everything in your body. Exhale. And now this light swirls down into your hips, relaxing every muscle in your hips. Restoring and healing every part of your body, every part that makes you feminine. You embrace your feminine side. You are a woman. You're grateful for all that your body has done for you. Breath in, deep appreciation and gratitude for your body. And now this white light continues, loosening all the joints, your joints in your head, loosening all the muscles in your thighs, moving all the lymph nodes around, pushing that lymph up to your heart, your body. It now moves into your knees, lubricating all of the joints, flexible. This white light now swirls around your calf muscles, relaxing your muscles down to your ankles, making your ankles flexible. Through your feet. White light swirls down to your feet, relaxing your feet. It moves all the way down, grounding the earth, beyond the earth, pouring down to the crust, beyond the crust and down to the core of the earth. You're so grounded, you're so safe, you're so alive. Take another deep breath in. You are so loved. You are so worthy. Exhale. You are pure, positive light that radiates into the room. You are so relaxed. You feel lighter and lighter. You go deeper into relaxation and meditation. Your body feels so light. You're just floating on clouds. Another deep breath in. Exhale. On this exhale, I want you to hold it. Exhale all the air out and just hold. Don't breathe in again, just hold. 10, 9, 8. You are so safe. 7, 6. You can do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in and hold. Deep breath in. Breathe in all the way to your belly. Breath in and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. You are loved. You are light. You are worthy. You are peace. You are calm. You are capable. You are full of God and His light and His power. You are are safe. Now picture on the screen of your mind, what would you love? This is moving more into a visualization. What would you love in your life? How does that feel? Picture a mirror on the wall and you look into the mirror. Who are you and what do you say to yourself? Take another deep breath in. Exhale. And it is so. You now live from this place. You live from this wish fulfilled. This is who you are. This is true for you. Another deep breath in. Exhale. Okay, you can open your eyes. Start wiggling your toes. Wiggle your fingers. Kind of come back. How are we feeling? I gotta stop sharing my screen. 1 second. My computer is, it's like you asked me to do too many things at one time. Okay. Sally, do you want to share with us how you feel now? I'm gonna, if you can unmute. There you are.
I feel very relaxed.
Awesome. Awesome. Valerie, were you able to do the meditation with us? Or are you just listening in? She may just be listening. I haven't seen her on screen. But yeah, it's so relaxing. She said, yes, I did. Oh, awesome. How do you feel? Put it in the chat box if something feels different. Is it amazing to me that she's doing that? It's amazing to me how instantaneously my mind can control my body. If I were to go take on a situation this afternoon or do something, I think I know I would handle it in a completely different way now, being in this frame, in this state of mind. Do you feel that way?
Yes.
It's so powerful. Okay, Valerie said it's very calming. Yes. So this is possible, and you can maintain this state for longer periods of time the more you practice being in it. And then you can also bring yourself back to it quicker and quicker and quicker, like within seconds or minutes if you have to, like it'll get shorter and shorter, the amount of time it takes you to come back to this. So let's say, I mean, there are going to be experiences in life that are not going to be comfortable. And let's say we come up against something like that. Instead of running to a stimulant or a relaxant or a chemical thing outside of us to control our body and our mind, what if we chose it from the inside? What if we took some time to sit and meditate and do some breath work? I have in our embodiment sessions, we go through all kinds of different breathwork techniques, meditations, visualizations. Like there's so many tools that you can use. Some of them are 5 minutes. 5 minutes. If you know you're going to go into a stressful situation, what if you sat there for 5 minutes, did some breath work, did some meditation, decided how you would love that thing to go? What would be the best possible outcome? And then you walked into the situation. How different could things be? That's the power behind this. So I hope that this was an awesome experience for you all today. I already feel more calm myself. Does anyone have any questions before we get off here? Anything to add to that? I hope these tools that you guys are able to take them. You'll get the recording. So if you want to walk back through this meditation again, you're more than welcome to play it again. To get yourself in a good spot, you know, if you're about to do something. And even starting off your day in this way, this is why with my clients, I recommend at least 15 minutes of either gratitude journaling, doing meditation, doing breath work. Like, you don't have to do it all. I'm not asking for a 2-hour morning routine every day, but a little bit of time. How long did that take us? Maybe 10 minutes, maybe, to get in such a great place like this, to then go into your day. So your vibrational frequency is now up here. Just because your vibrational frequency is high and it's vibrating quickly, I don't mean it's like, woo, excitement, you know. Love is a high frequency. So you're operating up here now. You're going to attract more experiences to match the vibrational frequency that you have set for your day. Okay, so Valerie says, thank you. This was awesome. God, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. I feel great. Oh, so glad. Thank you guys for your input. I really, really do appreciate it. So really quickly before we get off of here, the 15% off on the 6-month program, that will end Friday at midnight. It's 6 months. There's lessons every week. There's a workbook to kind of keep you on track, and for you to jot things down to bring to our one-on-one sessions. We do one-on-one sessions every other week. We do group sessions every week. And then you have unlimited messaging support from me throughout your entire time together. Clients, I try to think of like, what are the results my clients get from this? Man, there's so many. I've seen improved marriages. I've seen improved health. I've seen improved businesses. I had one client that said he did more in his business in about 3 months of working with me than he had in the entire year. 3 weeks. He worked with me for 3 weeks, and that was in the entire half of the year. I've seen people restore their confidence. That's been a big one, is women finding their confidence and figuring out who they are now. Because we go through all these phases, you know, we are who we are, and then we have kids, and then we're a mom. Well, then we're just defined as a mom and just this person. And then the kids grow up, and then we're empty nesting, and like, who are we now? What do I do now? What's my purpose now? What's my mission now? Like, they get to re-identify who they are and choose that. You don't have to look back at your past to decide who you are. You can decide who you are now and be that person in your future. I think that's the most beautiful thing, is that you get to choose. So really, and developing a strong sense of self-worth and self-love. That's been a huge thing that's been developed within my clients. That is a hurdle for a lot of people to get, like, jump over that and be on the other side of actually loving themselves and being able to be loved by other people, being able to receive love. And forgiveness, we walk through, there's 3 weeks in there of the sessions that we walk through forgiveness, blessing and releasing, and energy work, of kind of letting go of the past, but we're never actually letting go of anything, because it's energy, and energy is neither destroyed, it's not created or destroyed. It already just is, but we get to transform it into something different with the catalyst of love. So I walk people through that process. It's an amazing process. Then we get to work on building things out, because I don't like shoving things under the rug and just doing personal development work without addressing the underlying issues or the underlying root causes of why we feel the way we feel. How do we get to this point? So we identify that, we work through it, and then we move forward. We move forward. I work with people who've done counseling before and things, and a client that I had a call with this morning, you know, she's like, yeah, I've worked through counseling, I'm good to go. And I said, okay. And so after we did our first session, though, she said, man, a lot of things came back up that I realized why I don't feel worthy of the things that I'm, like, the goals that she has set, and, you know, relationships, things that she has that she would like, and all of these things is because of past traumas and because of who she was in the past. And so we're redefining what love means to her, and for her to be the love, not have to need it, to already just be it, because she's connected to the source of love. God is love. So when we just be love, we don't have to fear being loved or giving love or having all of that, because we just already are it. It just radiates from us. So anyhow, those are just a few examples of things that I've seen in my clients, them getting to walk through and setting them free, getting them to a place that they are able to experience a whole new level of freedom and of peace, and their experience of life is so elevated and it's so different. It impacts all of the relationships around them. I have one client who she bought gratitude journals for her grandkids and taught them how to gratitude journal. Like it is a ripple effect that goes out not only to you, but to everyone in your circle, because energy, everything is energy, and you will impact every single person that you come in contact with. So that's why I absolutely love getting to do what I do. So anyhow, if you have any further questions on this, please do not hesitate to book a call. Even in your call, if you want to talk about the program, we can, and how to move forward and things like that, we can. If you don't want to, and you literally just want 30 minutes of help, like, it is a call for you. You tell me where you want to go in the call and we'll go there. So those are completely free to every registrant. Just, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here, and I would love to give back to you and to, make this not just information that you take in, but information that you implement that changes your life. That's what I'm here to do. So, and then if those options, like I said, the 6-month course has the undertone of the physical health with it. I also have some other options that are a shorter amount of time, that are not quite as much time investment, the financial investment, and it doesn't have the physical health piece, but it's called self-concept. So it's really you getting to know yourself, and walk through a few of those things. It's basically me, it's 6 weeks long. So it's me giving you a toolbox and saying, here's the tools. I kind of help you implement for about 6 weeks. We only have one one-on-one call with that course, and then you get to do the group sessions. But you have the toolbox and you kind of implement on your own. So that's available too, if that's a better option. But yeah, that's basically what I have. So I would love to work with any or all of you. And let's figure it out. I'll not be on live tomorrow. Okay, no worries at all. I'll send the replay out very soon. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're able to be on, awesome. If not, like I said, we'll send the replay out. If you have questions, look through that workbook. If there are things on the physical health piece, I probably will not be able to cover all of it, to be honest with you. I would love to, but there's just too much. So look on there. If there are certain things topics that you would like me to cover, please send me a message and say, hey, these are the topics that I'm interested in. That would really help me choose how to best serve you with what we have time to do tomorrow. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. God bless you. Oh, thank you. God bless you too. I sincerely appreciate your time and getting to be with you guys today. I'll send this out, and we'll talk to you guys soon.